So I posted on my Telegram sometime last week. I'm not even sure what day, but New York placed a new statue on one of the courthouses in New York, and it's called Now. This statue is a naked golden woman with braids in the shape of goat horns and wearing a judicial apron and is emerging from a lotus flower. Check this out if you haven't seen it. That is the new statue that is sitting on the courthouse in New York. You'll notice, now, I haven't seen anybody else talk about this before. If you look at this statue straight on, just look at this statue straight on, you'll notice that the shape of her head and the horns, they form a certain outline of something. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you look at her face and the horns, it's actually in the shape of a uterus. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth would you make that comparison? Well, if you don't know, the goddess statue here is meant to bring praise to Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her fight for abortion. Now it makes sense. Yeah, you might have been a little worried on why I would compare a statue to a uterus. Well, that's why. It's because it's about abortion. And so it's specifically in that shape for that reason. The creator, Shazia Sikander, praised Ruth Bader Ginsburg, saying she is a fierce woman and a form of resistance in a space that has historically been dominated by patriarchal representation. We'll come back to that in a second. We just talked about it, guys. The name Now, the statue's name Now, comes from abortion being a risk right now because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. The statue is not permanent and will actually be moved to Houston, Texas in June, so it's only making a pit stop in New York for this time being. So you've got this picture. I'm going to throw it up again. You got this picture of this woman wearing her judicial thing, and she's got her braids in the shape of a horn. So obviously we've got some satanic Baphomet type stuff going on here. It's also in the shape of a uterus. There's the abortion stuff, all of this stuff. Now, the statue itself reveals so much, but the creator's answer opposing the patriarchy reveals the spirit behind this thing. We just talked about it, guys. When you start playing with the order that God has set up for not only the church, but also the household, he specifically sets it up where Jesus is on top, then it's man, then it's woman, then it's children. It has nothing to do with who's more valuable than others. Obviously, Jesus is more valuable. Don't get me wrong, but as far as us, peons below him, the man is there first because he's supposed to be there to protect everything, to protect the woman and to protect the children. Then it's the woman because she's there to protect the children. It has nothing to do with value. It has to do with, that's the order that he specifically set it up with. And now we're talking about this statue, and she's specifically talking about taking down the patriarchal representation. Not only is this a goddess of child sacrifice, but it's also the one of spirit of mystery. It is the rebellion against God's order. There is so much in that one statue, so much evil in that one statue, and they've got it sitting atop a New York courthouse. And it's getting ready to move to Houston, Texas in June. It ain't good, guys. It ain't good.